Y'all, a lot of these XYs are in their find out season, and I'm here for it. This is posted in the Am I the A hole subreddit, and it's a woman, so literally she's just looking for some validation for her actions. She says, Am I the a hole for leaving my boyfriend after a health crisis? She says, I'm 53, ex boyfriend is 62. We were together for 15 years. I wanted to get married. He didn't. He made his bed right there. That's enough. She left him. He made his bed. He did not want her to be with him through sickness and health. Otherwise, he would have taken that vow. Anyways, she says, I'm younger and in much better health. He's got some chronic health problems. 12 or 13 years ago, I was okay with getting married, for better or worse, etc. I was fully prepared to stand by him for the rest of our lives, even though it was pretty obvious to me that he was not going to age well, and he is 9 years older than her, obviously. He didn't want in part because he wanted to leave everything to his children. I was okay with it, but made it clear that I wasn't going to make wife level sacrifices to take care of a boyfriend. I asked him to at least make me medical power of attorney and grant me the right to continue living in his house if I outlived him. He refused. I made sure to keep my finances in order. I bought a condo and rented it to pay the mortgage. About 6 months ago, ex boyfriend had a TAI, a mini stroke, and I was afraid he was having a real stroke. His daughter and ex wife came to the hospital and kicked me out so they could be together as a family one last time. I went home and started packing. When the TAI resolved, he called me to find out where I was. I told him what happened, and he was furious with his daughter for kicking me out of his room and letting his ex-wife in. They had a very bitter divorce, and he still hates her. He was discharged the next day. On the way home, I told him I was moving out. I stayed with him a few days to make sure he was okay. Then I left to stay with friends until the lease is up on my condo. He's had a series of TIAs since then and can no longer work. Am I the a hole for leaving him after he had a health crisis? No, she is absolutely not the a hole. He made his bed. He did not want to marry her. And she is like, nope, I am not going to be the nurse in a purse. I'm not going to do it. He can't work. So he needs to figure things out. He wanted his children to inherit everything. So they need to inherit all that goes along with a sick daddy. I have a feeling that this is going to be the outcome, the future of many of these men that do not pour into their relationships and who neglect their health and who neglect their finances as well and just spend without thinking about it. This is going to end up being how many of them live, especially if they don't have health insurance, especially if they're not looking towards the future. So, absolutely not the a hole. He didn't want a wife, so he doesn't have anyone to take care of him. Um, Sounds like a him problem. It sounds like a his children problem. It is not this woman's problem. But that's what I think. You go ahead and weigh in. I am going to look at a few of these comments. Strain Pure says, not the a hole. He didn't want a commitment, and looking after him is one hell of a commitment. So you're right to leave. Let his daughter look after him. Absolutely. His daughter kicked her out. His daughter is going to be the one to take him in. Pizzicato says, and his ex wife. They can look after him as a family. T Bucket says, makes me sick. My wife's ex did the exact same thing, but the difference is that I kicked them out. My wife was at her absolute lowest point in her life, and you want to come in and make this all about you? Had that piece of S escorted out of the room. Babe with the voodoo says, this has all unlocked a new fear for me. If I were even prone in the hospital and found out my family, not great connection with them, kicked my boyfriend out the room, I can't even fathom the rage I'd feel. I just know thinking about the possibility is making my chest burn and it feels hard to breathe slightly. My boyfriend has been nothing but the light of my life, and we both have hangups with our family, making us feel invisible until they can use us to make themselves feel better. Time to sit with the boyfriend and discuss weird scenarios to ensure if either of us is ever hospitalized, we know the other's preferred hospital guest, especially since so many hospitals have a per room guest capacity limit. That's one of the things that I like about social media and having these discussions, that it makes you think about things that could happen. So I'm glad Babe with the voodoo is being forward thinking with her boyfriend. Frosty Shock says this part. My ex didn't want to get married because if either one of us was unhappy, it'd be easier to break up. Then I realized you're right, and I'm not happy, and leaving is much easier. He effed around and found out. If he had married you, this would be a different story, top to bottom. This is his inaction that caused this, not the a-hole. Absolutely, I'm with her. And they're right. A lot of these people, a lot of these ex-wives do not want the commitment. That works in the favor of the woman too, because she can be like, I bet. All she has to do is make sure that her lease or mortgage is intact, or, sever ties as necessary. Don't combine banks with a boyfriend. Don't combine unnecessary things with a boyfriend. Just sever it and bounce. Randy Flexer was like, nah, it was you being closed minded that ended it. And Frosty Shock says, ha ha ha, you must be awfully lonely. And he says, your ex dodged a bullet. Because why? Like she said, she was unhappy, she left. People that are unhappy should have the opportunity to leave. Um, and some of these people don't want commitment. And you already know that these men would leave if the woman gets sick. So they better figure it out, because women are saying, get someone else to do it. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, share. So I wasn't expecting a part 4 in this series. So this was posted in the text subreddit. Guy in my friend group is annoyed that I'm quiet, as if I'm autistic. So if you haven't seen parts 1 through 3, this guy was in a group chat or a friends group, and there was a girl who is uninterested. She's uninterested. She doesn't talk to him very much. She doesn't seem interested, and dude is extra pressed. And to the point where he was saying, are you autistic? And he does this weird nagging, and he keeps sending her text messages. Okay, so that's where her caption on this is, I got some good advice from several subreddits, and I received a lot of helpful DMs as well. At this point, I'm sharing these so y'all can see this is a one-sided conversation. He knocked on my door a few times. He apologizes for that in the beginning and left me a gift with a creepy note. He claims none of this constitutes stalking and that nobody will believe me anyway. I've experienced a lot in my life, but this is just crazy. Oh, and he turned up outside my spin class too and pretended in front of everyone to know me. Over the last few days, he's actually left me in peace, and I guess it's because he was busy, as he says, but I'm not sure if he's telling the truth. I'm fortunate my family and friends are incredibly supportive, so I'm very grateful for that. Keep in mind, y'all, this is all this is happening because I was too quiet and autistic for his taste. Okay, now let's look at the text messages. And if you're new to this whole series of text messages, he keeps typing her name in this text message, so she blanks out her name. So this weird man keeps on using her first name. So that's kind of strange, but that's the reason it's blanked out in pink. So all of these are text messages. He's having a whole conversation with himself because she's not responding. So let's look at him. He says, hey, blank, how are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. So I wanted to check in with you. Sorry, I was busy with work and some projects I have coming up. It's time for us to be honest with each other. The chase isn't fun, and I know you don't enjoy it either. LOL. It's time to open your heart. And then the next day, sorry for the delay. I was in the shower. You could have been here. Blank, before I continue, you have to promise you won't post any of these on the internet again. Not only does no one believe you, the people who do are siding with me, not you. LOL. Everyone can see that you're being unreasonable and irrational. If I see our private conversations anywhere again, I'm going to lose it. Blank. That's all. With that being said, I apologize for turning up to your place unannounced and maybe giving you a bit of discomfort. Last night, I came to my senses and realized if it was an effed up thing to do. I understand you value your privacy, and I fully respect that, blank. That's actually one of the things I like about you. You're classy and keep to yourself. You don't open your heart and legs to just anyone, and I respect that. And I'm sorry about the height joke. blank. No, I'm not going to have several wives and use you for your pleasure. That was a joke, you gullible pearl clutching moron. So gullible. You'd be my full-time wife and have all my love, peen, and compassion. I hope my dominant genes will cancel out your autism gene. Otherwise, our kids might be effed from birth. LOL. But apart from that, you're obviously healthy, so don't be too hard on yourself. You look like you received a good supply of nutrients in the womb. I jerk to you every day since Tuesday, March 12th, but it doesn't hit the same, you know. You broke my semen retention practice, so congratulations, blank, LOL. So beautiful, I'm sorry, so blank, beautiful, bouncy, mildly autistic, blank. I'll need you to do the following. Stop going to the police. I'm not breaking any laws here. Wink, wink. You're a big girl, so act like it. Secondly, let me take you out on a date. It's not like me to be so persistent since most girls aren't artistic and find me desirable. So, the best thing you can do for yourself and the planet is to say yes. It'll be fun. You'll smile a lot, come a lot, and fall in love once you see the real me, blank. Just give me a yes and open your heart. I F two of your friends so they can tell you what you're missing out on. Blank ate my groceries, but I don't doubt she told you. Funny how she's the most outspoken critic right now. Don't eat groceries, Intel. She didn't get the memo. Did I tell you that I started dating the fitness chick that I met at blank? This is her. She looks kind of like you, except you look miserable and unhappy all the time. What I like about her is that she's a simple girl and doesn't play any mind games. She tells me what she wants, when she wants, and she does everything I tell her to do without protest. She makes me breakfast in bed, followed by the sloppiest, she's humble, sweet, and beautiful, doesn't kick up drama and involve her idiotic friends. Objectively, she's better and more valuable than you in every way. Dare I say she has a better butt than you too? Ha ha. I swear if your personality was more like hers, I'd marry you on the spot. I swear. I won't call you autistic when we're married. Isn't that a good start? I don't know what the voicemail is. By the way, I can't even watch corn anymore without thinking about you. Laughing emoji. You're turning me into a simp, Miss Blank. I know you like to take good care of your skin. So would you like this? Then he shows a bottle, some kind of jar of Misty or some kind of body cream or something. If you prefer something else, just let me know, baby girl. But you have to open your effing mouth for this conversation to work. And you still haven't confirmed if you've asked any of your guy friends. So please clear that up as soon as possible for my sanity. And that is the end of the text threads that she provided for us. And clearly this is an unhinged individual because this conversation is wild, but you guys needed to see the updated version because we're all kind of enthralled and we're in this now. We're all in this text thread together. I didn't do any of the comments, but you guys let me know what you think of this text thread. Obviously, this dude is unhinged. This is the type of thing that you collect the text messages and you use this. You keep going to the police. You keep being the squeaky wheel. If they keep turning you around, turning you away, you keep going back up there because obviously this man is watching her. And that's what I want you guys to do. Make a lot of noise because they will keep on doing this. And y'all know it is wild and violent out there these days. So you have to keep your head on a swivel. All right, let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Oh, and thank you to the person that tagged me in this. This is how I knew that there was an update because obviously I can't watch all of these different social media platforms. So we have another Am I the A-hole post from a woman. So like I say, she's just looking for some validations for feeling normal human emotions. She says, am I the a-hole for getting upset with my boyfriend after our miscarriage? This is important. He's 31. She's 22. So obviously I really don't like these big age gaps, but let's look at this story. She says, my boyfriend and I found out we were pregnant 2 weeks ago. When I initially told my boyfriend we were expecting, he started crying and told me I had to get rid of it because it was the only logical thing to do. We are both young. 31 is not young. We are both young, not living together. I'm studying at university full time, and he wanted to travel more with his work before having kids. I told him I would be keeping it despite his insistence for me to get rid of it, and he said he wasn't sure if he would stay around because he wasn't ready. Fast forward to 2 days ago. I had a miscarriage and I was in the hospital overnight. When I told my boyfriend about it, I could tell he was relieved about it. He hasn't come to visit me since the miscarriage, but he has sent me flowers. This right here should be where she says, I broke up with him. She doesn't break up with him. She says, tonight he is out drinking with his friends while I'm at home recovering and grieving the loss of our baby. I got upset and told him I felt unsupported and unloved during this time. And he said that staying home grieving won't fix anything and that he is dealing with it by going out with his friends. I can't tell if I'm overreacting. I asked him if he was relieved the baby was gone, and he said that he was, but he didn't want it to happen that way. Am I the a-hole for being upset with him right now? My friends think I should break up with him, but I can't tell if I'm overreacting and hormonal or if this is something I need to be thinking about. Yes, you're supposed to break up. What is wrong? No, you're not supposed to stay with somebody that is unsupportive. Plus, y'all want two different things. You're at two different points in your life. You're 22. He's 9 years older. He's talking about he's young. He is not young. He should be established and ready to rock and roll if that is his intention to even have any kids. Maybe he just doesn't want to have them with you. Ladies need to take these hints. Like, this is a big old red flag. This is a flashing yellow light saying that this person is not going to be supportive. You're in the hospital, and now you're recovering and he's not there. He's with friends. You are not his friends if that is where he is. He's not supportive at all. So don't be with people who are not there to support you when you're grieving. Just don't. And don't be with somebody that is not on the same page with you as far as making babies. All right, so that's what I say. Y'all let me know what you say. But let's get into some of these comments. Antique Diva says, oh no, you're not overreacting, you're underreacting. He was going to leave you because of the baby. He's not grieving at all. He's going out to celebrate with his friends because he's off the hook now that the baby is dead. He doesn't want to comfort you because he never wanted the baby and probably feels weird that you're grieving it. Just listen to your friends and cut him loose. He's not worth your time and effort. Plus, he is not young. 31 is not young like you, 22. He's an overgrown teenager. OP, you can do better. And Brown Eyed Girl says, when she said we're both young, I was like, you're young. He's not. Net Middle says both young, like he's got a decade on. I'm sorry, he's got a decade on you, bro. He's closer to being middle aged than he is to her age. And Yelzy said the red flag here is being 31 and dating someone that's 10 years younger and not ready to settle down. He's a loser, and there's a reason for this age gap. He's looking for girls he doesn't have to commit to. CML says he's probably one of those who says women my age are too baby crazy. And then the last thing he's expected to happen was for this 22-year-old hot young thing to get pregnant. He wanted to string her along for several years before dumping her when she was ready to get serious. And then somebody says, give her the old DiCaprio treatment. And Fresh Sector says OP is too old to qualify for that. And then this person says DiCaprio dates them till they're 25. The OP clears something up talking to this person named Philip. I didn't really want to do Philip's comment. Actually, I'll show it to you. He says ESH. Everyone sucks here. But boyfriend sucks much more. Since he's significantly older, I'm holding him to a significantly higher standard in terms of maturity. Obviously, boyfriend sucks a lot for being so cold during an obviously emotionally devastating period for OP and for not initiating the conversation about child preferences at square one. As the person in his 30s, he should know better. He is a child and would have been an unfit father due to immaturity. OP is also the a-hole for trying to unilaterally force boyfriend into unwanted fatherhood and for actively trying to have a child despite not being ready to be a mother. Nothing in OP's comment sounds like her decisions were based on the well-being of the future child. People reading this, how do so many people commit to long-term relationships without explicitly discussing the issue of having children? Philip just sounded like an a-hole to me, but let's see what she answered. She says, boyfriend and I didn't plan this pregnancy. It was a birth control mishap. I do agree we should have talked about an accidental pregnancy beforehand, but we never really did. All we talked about was that we both wanted kids one day. So that's probably the reason why she was shocked. She was on birth control and they had conversations. So this man jumped in here, made assumptions, and basically called her an a-hole based on something small. Like, why blame her for this? He could have asked some clarifying questions without coming in there and doing that. And then he says, thank you for your reply. Again, I put more of the blame on your boyfriend. And with that, even that, I put more of the blame on your boyfriend. So he still puts some on her. Since a man in his 30s should be the one taking the lead on this conversation. As far as whether or not to break up, OP, no need to answer the following question for me. Just answer it for yourself. What specifically is keeping you in that relationship? It's entirely possible that boyfriend's positive attributes outweigh the negatives. And it's also possible that your friends are correct and that you should leave. So please sit down in a quiet place with a bowl of your favorite food and be honest with yourself. My own bias is to say it's not a big win to simply have a warm body in bed with you every night if the two of you have different life values. Even though men cannot get pregnant, boyfriend, due to his age, should have enough life experience to understand how, basically a miscarriage. And some of that at the end was correct, but I was just like, this woman just had a miscarriage. There was no need to come in and just put salt in the womb. It was just unnecessary. And I don't know what's the point in even doing that. He could have given some life advice without being an a-hole, but he chose to be an a-hole. All right, y'all, that's enough of this. Let me know what you think about this. Jump in the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.